Right, folks, just gone past top of the hour. So, again, fantastic Friday morning. Welcome, welcome. I hope you've all done your homework. Otherwise, teacher will be cross with you. So, trust you've done the necessary. So, yeah, Lee, do you want to take it away?
Well, welcome. Yes, as Guy says, Friday, end of the week. We've got a weekend break, certainly from Wisdom's Chats. But we followed our theme of inspiration. And yesterday we spoke about each one of us has learned some life lessons, has a sense of some inner truth that's real for us. And we so often look outside for our inspiration, but we can be our own inspiration. And so to come up with a quote, a 1-2 sentence summary that condenses an essential core truth or belief or a lesson that you've learned that is inspiring for you and inspiring for other people. So to get us started, and then I'll share my quote. There's this something that I start my workshops with this as an icebreaker. And it's things I've learned. So I don't know whether they girls or boys, men or women, but I just know their age. So at a certain age, this is what this person has learned. So age 7, I've learned that our dog doesn't eat my broccoli either. At age 12, I've learned that just when I get my room the way I like it, Mom makes me clean it up again. Age 15, I've learned that although it's hard to admit it, I'm secretly glad my parents are strict with me. At age 42, I've learned that there are people who love you dearly, but just don't know how to show it. Aged 52, I've learned that you can tell a lot about a man by the way he handles 3 things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas tree lights. Age 62, I've learned that life sometimes gives you a second chance. Aged 82, I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one. And aged 92, I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. So I thought that might just stimulate some ideas if you hadn't done your homework. My quote comes actually from the name that I gave my business nearly 17 years ago. The business is called Bellevue, meaning beautiful view. It's the French Bellevue, beautiful view. And it comes from a belief that when you look inside yourself and you see the beauty there, and when you look into the world and you see the beauty in the world, your life will be transformed. So thank you, everyone. I now hand over to you to share your words of wisdom and inspiration.
Great, thanks, Leah. When you were going through those ages, it reminded me of another one, just to tag on to that, and that is, at age 16, I couldn't believe how ignorant my parents were. By age 26, I was amazed how much they'd learned in the last 10 years. All right, okay, let's go across to the youngster in the group. So Herman, let's come across to you.
And Solomon also put up his hand.
Lee, I don't know how to get that picture up. Can you do that? But whilst that's happening, first thing, I have a confession to make. I haven't had a haircut for 9 weeks. I think that must have been the longest time in my whole life. Going back to these aphorisms, it's something I do on a regular basis. I've got a whole book which I wrote over the last 10, 15 years or so. First, I started with collecting little things in little books. that appealed to me, which were not created by me, but which I read somewhere, and they appealed to me and they resonated with me. And eventually, I don't know what happened and what it triggered. I started writing my own. For example, I just wanted to share one with you, which I believe is very pertinent to South Africa. I said one day, if you want a third-rate country, continue to be a third-rate citizen. Avoid the conversations that truly matter. This one is, I don't know whether you can read it, like a rock. We are all shaped by outside elements, but stay authentic if we are true to our inner core. The picture of that rock is, I took myself on one of my hikes in the Magaliesberg. Lee also asked us what kind of triggered these quotes which we wrote. And for me, this is simply, that one represents possibly my life experience in many ways. But I'm going to share a couple more on the chat, on the chat. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Herman. Right, Solomon, let's come across to you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we've got you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So the quote that I have, which I started using it, I think it was 2008. I think I was going through different kinds of seasons where I realized that there's things I can change and there's things I can't change in life. You know, I can't change how my dad treated me and how he has not had the grace and ability to say, I'm sorry. And I started to just, I mean, my dad is just one example, but I started to just go through facets of life, that every person in life can always make a decision to actually do the best that they can through every circumstance that they find themselves in. So I started to just write a phrase that says, seize the moment, be the best that you can while you're still alive. So that's the code. It encourages me a lot, because through difficult times, I realized that I'm not responsible for the actions and all what the other people are doing, but I'm responsible for myself and for my responses and for my actions. So that actually has helped me through a lot, especially during times where I felt I needed to do something and that thing crumbled into pieces because I didn't have enough money to inject into that thing. And I realized that, you know what, I actually have done my best. So yeah, that's the code. Seize the moment, be the best you can while you're still alive.
Great, thanks, Solomon. Yeah, really like that, so well done. Let's go across to Donovan. Morning, Donovan.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, I actually am not prepared. I wasn't tuned in yesterday, so I actually don't have much to contribute. I think in life, one of the lessons that I learned, which I always remember from my father, my late father, he secured a job, so he prepared the night before to start his new job. So he had to wake up a certain time to make it in time for work. So he asked his father to wake him up. So the next morning, he actually woke up late and he was so angry with his father that he went to his father and said, "Why didn't you wake me up?" And his father said, "No, I didn't want to wake you up. I wanted your money to motivate you to wake you up." And ever since that day, my dad never woke up late. So it's all about what motivates you, what drives you, that you need to focus on in life. Thank you.
Oh, that's great, Donovan. I think being unprepared did well. You did very well there. I really like that. So well done. Right, let's pop across to Guy.
Morning, folks. Lee, thanks for picking this topic today. It's going to be very interesting to be inspired by what other people have come up with and see how they approach it. Mine's pretty simple. It's just day by day, I'm becoming more in touch with the vibrations of the universe. And each day I understand more and more of what's happening in the bigger picture, and how that affects my life and how I try and affect it. But the universe is something that's beyond us and has a bigger meaning. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Guy. Nozipho, let's come across to you.
Oh, good morning. I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, my quote that I thought of, it actually came to me yesterday as I was trying to, it wasn't quite, this wasn't easily, hey? Like for some reason, you know, I'd always have things that I think about and write up, but yesterday for some reason, because I had to come up with a quote.
Oh, Nozipho, somehow you got muted again. I'm not too sure what happened there. Do you want to just try and unmute yourself? Okay, let me...
There. Okay. But what came to me yesterday was I got to realize that every 4 years, God moves me to a different place every 4 years. And, you know, I was sitting in the shower and I was counting every 4 years of my life. I find myself moving to a different, whether it's a different career or it's a different province or it's a different house or whatever, but it happens every 4 years, just religiously, I've come to realize. And so I thought what I came up with was, it's a quote that says, God will always pull you towards the direction where he wants you. And that's what I came up with. I wanted to see if I can share a picture, and I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, we've got it.
Can you see that?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay, what that is it's a wave, and it's there because firstly I love water, but also the wave tends to do that too, because when you just throw yourself into a wave, it will take you where it wants you to be ultimately. And that's why I love going to the sea, to just throw myself in a wave and let it take me where it wants me. Thank you.
Great, thanks, thanks, Nozipho. Yeah, the waves of life come with storms and come with calm sometimes. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, thanks so much. Right, let's go across to Stella.
Morning, everybody. And I must admit, I didn't do my homework because I didn't attend the session yesterday. So I'm so sorry I missed yesterday. So I just quickly thought about it now. So I think for the last couple of years, I've actually after my divorce, I've come to learn that I must accept the things that I cannot change, and the things that I can change, I can work on those. For me, being trying to be always in control, there's things that you just got to let go, that that you don't have an influence over, that and if you can't change it, accept it. That was a very hard lesson that I had to learn for myself. But also something that's my life in Afrikaans it's levenslese. But you know what I mean? What I try and live my life by is faith, hope, love. And hence that is why I named my business FHL Divorce Mediation as well. So faith in God, to know that He, no matter if anybody leaves you or desert you or disappoint you, God will never disappoint you. Hope for me is hope in a better future for the people that I come across with, especially in my business, to give them hope for a better future. And then love, to treat other people with love and respect. So that's mine.
Great, fantastic. Thanks, thanks, Stella. Let's come across to Jasper.
Hi there. I'm quickly just posting my quote there. And my quote says, I was actually sitting in a service one Sunday morning. I don't know where the service was at, but my mind was on another space. And I think it was probably just reflecting on my life and maybe in a small way feeling sorry for myself for my perceived lack of achievements of what I set out to do. When I almost sensed a loud voice in my mind saying the following: how will it change your perspective if you knew that God is not judging your success on earth by what you've achieved in your lifetime, by what the generation of your grandchildren achieve in theirs? And somehow what it did for me was just to put the pressure off me to say it's not so much, sorry, now I just need to open up the gate. I'm here alone in the office. Just hold on.
All right, well, while Jasper plays gate man, we'll just give him a second and come back to him. Hopefully it won't take too long. Oh, there he is.
All right, so what it did for me was to somehow in my spirit just take the pressure off me, because you know there's constant things that life throw at you and that you can't control, and you take one step forward, one step back sometimes in your own perception. But by thinking of how time plays out, and if we can, through our networks and our structures and our philosophy, paint a better future for the time when our grandchildren grow up, you know, I have almost much more control on that than I have on the economy of the day. And it is really strengthened by listening to the stories of Mpumelelo and people like that who give honor to their grandmother or, you know, an elderly figure in their life that influenced them. So that is a quote that still sustained me in our current business as well.
Great, thanks, Jasper. Let's come across to Cecile.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Did you say Cecile?
I did, Cecile. Yeah. Up to you.
Sorry. My mom was a midwife all her life, and she worked night duty. So she, in our house, there was this motto that you don't sleep in the day. But it's only when you're sick and when you've worked at night. So one of my mottos in life is that I'll sleep when I'm dead. So I never, ever sleep in the day. But when Lee said that yesterday about your motto in life, it jumped straight away into my mind that it's always been my motto. Is I'd rather be sorry about the things that I did than about the things that I didn't do. That's my absolute motto in life.
And I can absolutely see that with you, Cecile, after the stories you've told. So great, thanks very much. Mpumelelo, let's come across to you.
Morning to everyone. Yeah, I'm still trying to get over your money will wake you up. My goodness, that's yeah, wow. All right. Look, yeah, I also tried to sort of think as to, in thinking of my life story, what comes together as a quotation of some kind. But I think in that thinking, I got fascinated by how strong and powerful a decision may be, and how it can potentially change a trajectory of life or take something in a certain direction. And in the same breath, I thought about how sometimes decisions are taken for granted, not taking to mind that it's that very decision that may take not just your life, and as Jasper would say, even the life of the next generation, a certain direction. So on that, I thought of the words or the quote that says, the quality of the decisions you make will determine the quality of life you will live.
Great, thanks, Mpulela. Right, let's go to Trevor.
All right, I'm going to bring up a screen if I can see it. I think this is it here. Let's do that. Okay, so Lee, you made me do some early morning homework at about 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. I posted this up onto LinkedIn, and I will put the link there for everyone, but it's out of a story that I wrote back in 1998. I see Comrades Marathon, a metaphor for life. And I need to give you some context as to the inspirational statement, and that is when you wake up every morning, what you've got to do is just put one foot in front of the other. So I'm just going to read a couple of these lines so you get to understand the concept. So I learned from my very first comrades that the secret to achieving your dreams is just to keep putting one foot in front of the other, to keep on keeping on, to hang in and keep moving forward to your objective. No matter how painful your feet might be or how tired you feel physically or mentally, the trick is to keep moving. For some strange reason, if you stop, your legs and body just seize up and you can't get moving again. I've noticed that this same phenomenon happens in life. We have a dream, we put it into action, we hit it down, we can't see the finish, and our minds tell us to sit down and give up. Don't, or your dream will end on the side of the road of life. Athletes talk of this as running through the pain barrier. Every sportsman knows that incredible feeling of a second wind when you break through your own pain barrier. In Comrades, you can reach your fourth wind and even a fifth wind. In life, you are going to hit hundreds, if not thousands of personal pain barriers. You can sit down and seize up or keep on keeping on. It's more rewarding just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Don't give up ever. And that's a snippet of what I've written there. So for me, every morning, and as I look back on my life, in projects, people might turn around and say, but why does this guy hang on to various projects that he does and keeps pushing? Now, always projects go onto the shelf, they come back, because you never give up on projects. You keep moving them forward one step at a time. If you really believe in it, and this whole story that I wrote here is all about belief. I had a belief that I could finish that Comrades after only doing 2.5 kilometers ever in my life and hardly any training. And it was on that belief that I finished the Comrades. And in the story, I talk about running past a bunch of guys who were waving their green numbers, having champagne and all that. And I thought, no, stuff it. Now I'm going to do 10 as a result of that. And that became my ongoing dream. So I pushed forward one step in front of the other until I did 10. And then I took my green number and then I had champagne breakfasts every year ever since. And so I'm now full of champagne since 1988. So I can see Mpumelelo likes that one. I'll give you the link there, Mpumelelo. I know you will read this with gusto. Okay, let me stop sharing.
Great, thanks, Trevor. You know, it's an interesting thing because you know, I've worked with Trevor for the best part of 20 years, and one of the things he's always said to me, you know, he believes in the power of the visual, and you know, just 2 or 3 points on a great image. And I've always been the guy who puts things down in text and in lists and things like that. I think in these 20 years we've somehow swapped places because he's now just put up something that's just been plain text, and I'm going to put up something that's going to be a little bit visual. So I think it's going to be interesting. So, all right, let me just share my screen here quickly. So yeah, Lee's homework requirement also got me thinking, and you know, this is a phrase I've always liked, and that is, if wisdom is applied knowledge, then knowledge is gained through admitting ignorance, and ignorance is cured by asking good questions. And ignorance is asked by good questions, then truly listening to the answers, and that's something that I think I've based my life on. You know, I'm always amazed by the people in this group talking about their education and what they've done, and you know, from an educational point of view, and how they studied late in life, and all of those sorts of things. And you know, it's something that I've never really enjoyed, was theoretical learning. I did reasonably well at school, but I didn't want to take it any further than that. And when I got into the workplace, you know, I found out there was lots of things that I didn't know, and I got into a habit of asking people who did know questions, and then applying that information, and that's how I developed my business. That's how I developed my career, and developed you know, what I've done all these years. So it's something that I believe that I've based my working life on, and yeah. So that's my little thing. Those images are my images. So I just pulled them together this morning and put them up on that quote. So I hope you enjoyed that. Great, Lee. I think everybody has had a turn. So back to you.
Amazing. It's so awesome. You know, yesterday we spoke, for those of all who weren't here, you know, one of the themes that came out of yesterday around the question, what inspires you, is the extraordinary things that ordinary people do. And I mean, how extraordinary that just a little bit of thinking, and to condense an incredible amount of life experience into something so profound that is truly inspiring for everyone. So thank you, everybody, for the effort that you put into it, and then sharing it, that we can all benefit and grow from this. And this now continues. We know this is going to be put on a YouTube clip. We don't know what will happen to it. We don't know who else is going to find this and say, if these guys can do it, and look at them, you know, there's nothing special about them. I hate to break that to you, but you know, if these guys can come up with this, then we can too. And I think that's the hope that we live with, is that, you know, the little bit of wisdom we have can be shared and multiplied in numerous ways. So where do we pick this up on Monday? I think this whole point, this, you know, inspiration, I think, is something that we need to maybe keep continuing with. And the things that I've picked up from today, I think about Donovan's in his chat. He spoke about be relevant. Ivan's spoken about applying. Trevor spoke about putting one foot in front of the other. And I do want to just add, that was in fact one of the quotes I was thinking about. I've never done a comrades marathon, but what I did do is I walked 300 kilometers in 10 days. So a small group of us went through the Namakwa land, in the Western Cape, and it was supposed to be in flower season, but it was actually in the 4th year of a drought. So for 10 days, I walked through red, swirling dust, and so I did do the training. I wasn't going to walk 30 kilometers every day for 10 days with no training. So for a year, I built up from 5Ks to 10Ks to 17Ks a week, a couple of times a week. And so I did a lot of walking. I walked through 2 pairs of very good Merrills. And I thought, after all this walking, what have I learnt? And I literally boiled it down to exactly what Trevor said. Put one foot in front of the other. And so applying that, so that's what I'm wanting us to maybe just explore a little bit on Monday is, given this quote, and Mpumelelo spoke about a decision. So you've made a decision, you want to be relevant, you want to apply. What is it that you're applying? What is making a difference in your life right now? What is a decision? What is a wisdom? What is something that is you are implementing, that is the wisdom that you know, and you seeing it in something that is happening in your life, whether that's emotional, whether that's spiritual, whether that's physical, whether that's in a goal that you're achieving. So I think let's go in that direction on Monday. Everybody happy with that? Yeah, good.
Sorry, Lee, I missed it a bit. What are we supposed to be thinking?
So what is it that you're applying? I think that's the bottom line, is whatever decision, wisdom that you've thought of today, how are you applying it in a relevant way in your life at the moment?
Great, thanks Lee, and thanks everyone. Fantastic morning again. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday morning. Have a good one. Cheers now.